Alright, this is going to be a quick video about doing compound interest and some of the things you're going to do. So, the first thing you need to do is identify all of the variables and the equation you're going to use. This is the thought process part of any word problem. So, here we go. We know we're going to be using the amount owed at the end is equal to the principal times 1 plus the rate over n, the number of times compounded in the year, all raised to the n times t. Now, this makes sense because the number of times compounding, n times t, is how many times it compounded in a year, because t is always in terms of years. Similarly, we're dividing the rate, the API, or APY, the amount you pay total for the year in interest, is divided by n, the number of times you're dividing that to compound it each time. So if it's an 8% loan compounded per year, compounded 4 times a year, that means each time it's going to compound 2%. So it's 0.08 divided by 4. So you're doing that 4 times in the year. So like I said, the first thing you do is identify, it's a compound interest problem, because they said quarterly. We're now going to identify all our variables, A, P, R, N, and T. So A is the amount you're going to owe at the end, or the amount you're going to have at the end. Well, that's just going to be double the amount. So what's double of 5,000? So it's 10,000. The principal is the amount you're starting with. So what is that? 5,000. The rate was 6%, and you're always going to write it as decimal, so 0.06. N is the number of times compounded in the year, so it's compounded quarterly. So there are 4 quarters in a year. And lastly, we don't know what t is. So that's what we're going to end up solving for. So after you get the equation we're using, write down the parameters, all the variables that you have, now plug it in. So we want to see 10,000 equal to 5,000 times 1 plus the rate, 0.06 divided by 4 raised to the 4 times, and then we don't know what t is, so I'm going to put t. Doing a little simplifying, now it's just algebra time. Divide both sides by 5,000. Those cancel, so I'm left with 2 is equal to 1 plus 0.06 over 4. Actually, I could have just worked that out, but I'll do that in a second. To the 4 times t. Alright, so I'm going to work this out real quick. Let's see, 4 goes into 6, and I'm using a calculator so don't make a mistake here. Sorry, let's make it easy on you. So 0.06 divided by 4 gives us 0.015. So now, divide that to both sides. So 2 over 0.015 is equal to, sorry, I did that backwards. So now we have 2 is equal to 1.015, because I added it to 1, to the 4 times t. So now, I have my variable up here as an exponent. The only way to unexponent something is to log both sides. So I'm now going to log both sides, just like we did in our class. Here's ln, and here's ln of all that stuff. And what ends up happening is that's going to drop down as a thing in front of it. So now I have ln of 2 is equal to 4 times t ln of 1.015. Logs are powerful things. I know you didn't like it when we did in our class. Okay. Well, I just got to get t by itself. So that's multiplication, move it to the other side with division. So ln of 2 divided by 4 times ln 1.015 is equal to t. And then of course that's going to be plugged into a calculator. So now I have ln of 2 divided by, and I'm going to use parentheses to make my life easier so I don't really have to worry about what I'm doing, ln of 1.015. Alright, and we got 11.638. Now, here's the thing. I think you're going to have to round that up to the closest number, so it's going to take about 12 years. I don't think they're looking for an exact value. But in a nutshell, that's it. Alright, so what I would do is practice doing this, all the setup. Make sure you're always doing this first part. Write out the equation, identify all the variables, the parameters, plug it in, and then try to get that variable by itself.